Hello, everyone. Welcome again to our discussion. In this session, we're looking at 11 African inventors who made us proud. Now, specifically, who made us proud because these are inventors who went out there and made their contribution. Their contribution has been well received throughout various parts of the world. They've brought in innovations, inventions, which are absolutely meaningful and which will continue to be meaningful in the next generation as well. So, we are looking at inventors from different countries. In this video, we're looking at primarily Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Morocco, Cameroon, as well as Egypt. Not to say that other countries don't have, but for this particular video, we're looking at those inventors, and we're absolutely glad to be sharing what they've done. And next time we see their innovations, we'll actually appreciate it a lot more. So, yes, let's look together at the inventors who have made us proud, who have contributed something, that is absolutely meaningful and well received throughout the rest of the world. Do share, by the way, the ones that that appeal to you the most, yeah, the inventions that you really, really appreciate, and maybe even other inventions that these can be reminding you of as well. Let's look at this together.
History books, for the most part, portray Africa as an uncivilized continent. Enlightenment, the scientific revolution, and the industrial revolution, as well as a plethora of other revolutions, are often thought to have begun in Europe, with all theories isolating and highlighting global.
Unfortunately, this is the plague which Africa has had, where people see Africans as quite lowly, and which is why we absolutely appreciate when there are inventors who come out and make a difference, and do something meaningful, because hey, they're actually putting us out there in the map and making the world appreciate us even more.
Most people are only familiar with well-known inventions such as cars, light bulbs, and smartphones. But there are breakthrough contributions from the African continent across fields such as medicine, energy, e-commerce, and many more industries. Join us today in our video as we take a look at a collection of inventions that have come from the ingenuity of African innovators, ranging from fiber optics for high-speed internet to the first human-to-human heart transplant. Make sure to give our video a like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Dr. Thomas Mensah is a Ghanaian-American chemical engineer and inventor who contributed to the development of fiber optics and nanotechnology. But for his work, fiber optics would not be what it is today. The massive contributions of this son of global Africa have greatly changed the world. But you will not find his name in neon lights, unlike those of his white colleagues. In fact,
Bingo! His name not being mentioned together with those of his colleagues. Now, this is again something that's been common, something that a lot of inventors in different spaces, right? Not just inventors, but creators who are of African origin have sort of experienced. And unfortunately, because of where you are, because of the color of your skin, people have in the past looked down on you. There is some change, I would like to believe, as well, as more and more African geniuses are appearing. But we do have to admit as well that this has been something that has plagued, the African child for a very, very, very long time.
cost of optical fiber comparable to traditional copper cables. Mensah received the Corning Glass Works Individual Outstanding Contributor Award for this work in 1980.
Brilliant big ups to you, Mensah. When he did receive that platform, he did make his contribution. He did become acknowledged. His work has been prized because indeed no one could deny the kind of work that he has contributed.
Globally, spurring Fortune 500 companies like Facebook, Google, and Amazon, among others, that have generated trillions of dollars for America. Mensah also led a program to develop the first laser-guided weapons for the U.S. Department of Defense Guided Missile Program. This program enabled the
See, this is where the African government sort of has a disadvantage because a lot of skilled labor who are born from Africa end up performing and excelling in other countries, thereby contributing to the economy of those countries because they're not really well supported in their own. And so, if something could be done about that, it will make a huge and tremendous difference for just everybody involved. And not only has Dr. Mensah being a co-founder of fiber optics for high-speed internet, which, hey, we really appreciate him for even today, and will continue to, a lot of companies nowadays, COVID came, and because of fiber strong internet, fast internet, we're able to sort of continue with work regardless, right? So we appreciate his contribution definitely, and I appreciate what he continued to do. He went and he brought some investors together to ensure that his home country, Ghana, was able to have their first bullet train. So this is something which a lot more um, accomplished African uh, labor skilled workers who have gone out to different parts of the world and have made a name. Let us really all come back to Africa and make that meaningful contribution, to sort of put Africa right where it belongs in the rest of society, to sort of pave the way, to you know sort of contribute towards more younger Africans wanting to do the same. And the more we do that, the better our Africa world will be. Moving on to our next one.
To improve health delivery in hospitals, Seyi Oyesola, a Nigerian doctor, created a hospital in a box. It is a
A hospital in a box, huh? That is amazing. Big ups.
examinations anywhere in the world. The spirometer, electrocardiogram, nebulizer, otoscope, temperature, cuff, pulse oximetry, and wireless transmitter are all included in the handheld box, which can be powered by solar, AC or DC battery, or vehicular power.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat, Dr. Say. Pretty neat. Imagine being in a situation where you're bedridden and you will really like the best hospital care. And through his invention, through his use of technology, and combining a lot of these key medical tools, which will make a difference, and availing them. So sort of all of them are here wherever you are. They come to you. I think that is absolutely amazing. That is absolutely, considering also the fact that there are a lot of medical cases in Africa, and this is going to definitely make a difference, not just in Africa. There are a lot of medical cases all over the world. So, again, this is a contribution that continues to make all of us proud. And yeah, we all are proud of this, and the whole world will continue to appreciate Dr. Say because of this contribution. Thank you so much, and this is going to assist even us when we're much older. Who knows, when you are the one who needs such medical care, right? Such a hospital in a box wherever you are. So this is again, big ups, big ups.
On December 3, 1967, Christiaan Barnard, a South African cardiac surgeon, and his team performed the
Once
world's
again, of South African origin, a heart transplant. A lot of people nowadays will attest that that has made a difference in so many people's lives. It continues to make a difference because now if your family member is going through the same, they need a heart transplant. You know that because of Christiaan Barnard's work, there is that hope. You also have that hope that your patient, your beloved one, can recover from this as well. So, yeah, we absolutely appreciate his contribution, and he also has lifted up the African banner high.
on a dog at Stanford University in California.
Sameera Moussa. Now, again, on mere fact that she becomes female, like just 10 extra points for her, 1,000 extra points for her, because we know how much harder it has been for the woman to actually have her voice also heard, her ideas also acknowledged, for what they truly are. Now, she has made a remarkable contribution as well in science. She was a scientist, but it's quite sad how, in the end, she sort of becomes assassinated, right? But we will continue to remember her brilliant work, and she has paved the way for women. Now, Mark Zang, also or mainly known as Arthur Zang, again, so young, but his mind, has been equipped from a very young age and has been contributing from a very young age and will continue to contribute as well. His use of, this cardio pad, again, also assisting to bring uh, medical care to those who need it in the most quickest manner possible, because some could not travel to other places or to where the best medical care would be. So this is quite thoughtful. Right, and the next one is Arthur Zang. And I must say, between me and you, I found it rather interesting for Arthur to be speaking in French, but he has an English name and he has what comes across as a Chinese last name. Eh, it's a bit interesting. It's a bit interesting. Yeah, like again, given the history of Africa, and we pay attention to to names because they are kin to identity. And here comes a person who's making a valuable contribution, but had you not shown his face, there's nothing in his name or last name that represents an African child. Yeah, it's quite interesting. But his contribution, nevertheless, is absolutely amazing.
Hôpital de district et un autre dans un hôpital de la ville. Donc, lorsque un patient arrive dans un hôpital de district, là où il n'y a pas de cardiologue, on va lui fixer des électrodes sur la poitrine et ces électrodes seront connectées à un
Now, he talks of a personal experience where his dad died of a stroke. And so, this is something with him growing up as a constant reminder that I need to contribute, right? There's something that I need to do. And he goes out and he makes a difference in the lives of many other people out there. Yeah, and he continues to be appealing to his neighborhood because of what he contributes, right? He knows the struggles, especially when there's a person who's sick, and he avails this healthcare similar to Dr. Seyi. He avails this healthcare at the convenience of your own location. This is absolutely amazing. We need more such contributions. The next one, we look at Rachid Yazami, who is the inventor of the lithium ion batteries, right? Again, when you talk of electric cars, we're talking of the future of cars. Here comes an African inventor who's already working to ensure that the batteries are going to last, the batteries are going to be efficient, and a person is going to be able to ride long using such electric cars because of the longevity of these batteries and just how quick they can charge. It's quite interesting. Moving on to the next one.
One medical invention that came from Africa is the CAT scan. The device was invented by Allan Cormack, a South African physicist. Allan Cormack and his colleague Godfrey Hounsfield won the Nobel Prize in 1979 for the invention of the computer axial tomography scans. Cormack is said to have provided the mathematical technique for CAT scanning, which uses X-rays and electronic detectors to rotate around the body and produce images that can be medically analyzed by a computer.
Okay, so we see CAT scans, and they continue to be important in our lives. I know I've had a CAT scan work because doctors needed to really get to the bottom of what was going on, and that piece of medical equipment has made a difference in my life as well. So continue to say big ups, for such a brilliant contribution to science, contribution to medical care. Bisi, Ezerioha.
Work of Nigerian Bisi Ezerioha, some of Honda's most powerful aspirated single overhead camshaft engines would not exist. This renowned racing driver, engine builder, engineer, and entrepreneur is responsible
again, Nigerian born, but sort of has mainly contributed in the American space because America is what has equipped him with the right opportunities, even him being able to be known, America has contributed to that. And I think that's where the African space could also, like I say, work on to be able to receive its own, empower its own so that it can retain its own, so that it makes a difference in its own country. Pretty interesting to hear a view of a scientist who specializes in the making of cars. Okay, now Bisi specializes in Hyundai cars. And he is of Nigeria. He's born in Nigeria, but he lives in America. Yes, and he knows what he's talking about.
It's very difficult being a scientist that's involved with automobiles because there's so many television shows and movies out there that use automobiles as a huge premise. Unfortunately, I can't really think to date any of the movies who got it right. The Fast and Furious franchise really opened up a lot of youth individuals to the car culture, which is very exciting. But when it gets down to the science behind it, it's not there. I hear very strange things like Motec exhaust doesn't exist.
He ordered 3 T66 turbos and a Motec system exhaust.
Or blowing welds off an intake that doesn't really exist.
You're lucky that 100 shot of NOS didn't blow the welds on the intake.
Or cars jumping from one train to another. Physically, that's not possible, even though it looks very exciting. It would be nice once in a while if someone was playing with a carburetor and it was a carburetor and not a supercharger.
You've got a high-rise double pump carburetor. That's pretty impressive, Sam.
South African Mark Shuttleworth. Yes. Again, we know him as one of the first people who went to space, right? His contribution also to encrypted, e-commerce, it continues to make a difference, and will appreciate his work as well. Now, when you follow interviews wherein Dr. Ashitey speaks, you get to see how he actually loves his job, and he sort of puts that spark in a person's mind, in a person's heart, that when you follow your passion, whatever passion you had when you were young, and you continue with it, you sort of can enjoy, and love what you do, no matter how hard it could be. You can actually enjoy going to work each and every day. So I love that about listening to him speak.
It's always exciting that you're going to work on a mission that is going to make the footnote of history. I'm Ashitey Trebi Ollenu, and I work on robotic arms for planetary exploration. This is a mock-up of the InSight lander. It's a 1-to-1 scale of the actual spacecraft. InSight, it's going to Mars and it's going to probe deep beneath Mars to be able to observe the fingerprints of how Mars came to be. On the inside, we have a robotic arm. You can see the upper arm, the forearm, and our responsibility is to pick up the instruments that the scientists are going to use to examine the planet hundreds of millions of miles away, blindfolded. And you want to precisely place it on the surface where the scientists want you to put it. It's kind of fun. When I was a kid in Ghana, I lived very close to the airport. So I was very interested in aircrafts flying, and I always dreamt of taking humans out of the cockpit and just making computers fly. And I think I'm doing the same thing here. We're making things autonomous. To see it from paper to actualization is just so much fun.
As well as Dr. Sandile Ngcobo. By the way, this is University of KwaZulu-Natal. It's a South African university.
Kind of things, you must be a very proud man.
Yes, I was very happy about the discovery and what I've done, and for what the team has actually done at CSR to actually get it.
Now pretend you meet me walking down the street.
Now this is interesting. Laser technology. Okay. For for the most part, or at first, I actually asked myself, okay, how is this meaningful in our lives? And until he took the time to explain that, we use laser technology almost everywhere, so this is actually very interesting. He actually took it up and he's run with it, and now we'll start to appreciate it even more because, hey, one of our own has made available contribution into that space. So yes, do share, by the way, which one has been your favorite one, which one has appealed to you the most, out of the ones that we have shared. At the end of the day, all of them have made an important contribution. We really, really appreciate and we value their contribution. So let's also be inspired to make a difference into our world and assist in shaping the rest of the world through our genius contributions. Thank you so much.
Right.
So what we've done, we've taken a miniature one, a very small one. We've actually replaced one of the mirrors inside the laser itself, laser casing.
It's amazing stuff, Sandile, because this is a world first. I mean, people have been trying to do this for a long time. Nobody's successfully done it. Sandile has been working on it for the last 3 years. You've managed to do that. I mean, how are you feeling? What's been the reaction from the rest of the world? Have people been phoning you from other universities saying, Sandile, how did you do this? What technology have you used?
Yes.
What's the reaction been like?
Yes, the reaction has been very, very good. When it first came out first, American people actually had some kind of a Skype with them, asking how did I get it to work. They've been trying for quite a while.
So what kind of applications are we looking at? As I'm talking to you right now, I'm thinking communications, I'm thinking manufacturing. Where can this be applied?
If you think about it, everyone owns a laser.
Right. What do you mean everybody owns a laser? Do I have a laser? Where's my laser?
Do you have a CD player in your home?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Inside the CD player, absolutely.
Yes, you have a printer.
I do.
When you go to the shop, what do you do? There's a laser that makes your life easy.
Scans your things, that's right.
So lasers are everywhere. In our case, it's almost like going to take over the world. So to have actually digital laser, which can actually simplify a lot of applications, also other applications that people didn't even think of because there was no such a device. So basically it is kind of like a future.
As you're talking now, I'm thinking the costs of owning a laser come down dramatically because you just need one as opposed to getting another laser to change the shape and everything. So what are you going to do with this idea now? Where do you take something like this that you've had a world first with?
We are busy currently trying to improve it because currently it's more of a lab demonstration that actually does work. Yes, there are other applications that you can actually use even in its current form.
Yes.
But for other future application, yes, we have to improve the power handling of it and make it faster and do a whole lot of other improvement that we need for different applications.
That's absolutely amazing. So when am I going to start calling you Dr. Ngcobo?
Come next year.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much. Sandile Ngcobo, soon to be Dr. Ngcobo, a world first for lasers, right here on TechBusters.